Hello class, Dr. Sears, my name is Joe Lindsay. Today I will be giving my demonstrative speech on how to disassemble, assemble, and function check a semi-automatic handgun. Before we get started with handguns, just a few simple safety tips that everyone should know. One, the main one, is you always treat a gun like it's loaded, no matter what. It is always loaded until you have checked, and even after you checked, you never point a gun at anybody, unloaded, loaded, or not. Never put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. Simple things like that save lives, and people that don't respect guns, they end up paying the consequences. One more thing before we get into the disassembly is the basic parts. The basic parts of a semi-automatic handgun, which I have broke down already here just to show you the parts, are the slide, the barrel, the guide rod and spring, which are together in a semi-automatic handgun most, the body of the gun or the lower portion, and the magazine. And anybody in the Army knows this isn't a clip, this is definitely a magazine. You don't want to make that mistake. Alright, I'm going to assemble the gun real quick. So that way we can get on with the speech. Alright, the model we have here is a Model 22 Glock. It's a 40 caliber handgun. It's one of your more common models. It's actually a simpler model to show how to disassemble, assemble, and functions check because it doesn't have a lot of extra safety features or things in the way. Alright, first, disassembly. You always want to drop the magazine. Very first thing. Second, charge the weapon. Make sure that there is no ammo in the chamber. With the Glock and a lot of semi-automatic handguns, you have to dry fire the weapon. Take one hand, pull the slide back. Alright, on the sides of the weapons, there are small levers you push down with both fingers. This will allow the slide to slide completely off the lower portion of the gun. Now, if you take the slide and look on the bottom, your spring and barrel are held in. The barrel is held in by the spring. You take your thumb with forward motion, push forward, and lift the spring out of the slide. Your barrel slides straight back. Now the gun is disassembled. While you have the gun disassembled, you're going to want to check for things like corrosion, excessive wear, scarring, things of this nature. Anytime you have metal on metal, you're going to have wear. Eventually, this barrel on top, places like that, will get a little wear. Where it holds in the gun, it'll get wear. It'll start getting scraped up a little bit, but nothing serious. It should never be rough. Always be smooth. You're looking for excessive dirt. This gun is actually a little dirty. I need to clean it. But excessive carbon buildup, dirt, anything like that, especially corrosion. You don't want any corrosion. Corrosion means water or moisture is built up in your gun, and you do not want that. The lower portion. Look inside. This is definitely a whole nother level of disassembly to get into the trigger assembly. But look inside. Make sure nothing seems bent, out of place. Like I said, dirty, corroded, things of that nature. Your magazine. It's a plastic magazine. You want to make sure that there's no chips or scarring, anything like that. The feed tray moves up and down, or the spring feed. Assembly. Starting the same way, reverse engineer. Take the barrel, slide it up into the slide, slide it back into place. As you can see, it'll slide forward, and it'll slide back into place. It just falls right in. The spring. The spring goes in the hole right here in the front from the back. You can see both parts match up very nicely. Alright, same thing. Take your thumb, forward pressure, and it goes into the groove on the barrel. Sits in there perfectly, almost can't mess it up. Alright, the slide has two grooves in the back of it, which line up with the grooves on the lower portion. Slide it right across the top. They slide into each other. Weapon slides all the way back, comes forward, it's locked in. Magazine loads. The weapon is now reassembled. To do a functions check, if any semi-automatic handgun, or let me rephrase that, most semi-automatic handguns, you slide the slide back with an empty magazine, it will stop in the rear position. The slide catch lever is right here on the side, the left-hand side, because most semi-automatic handguns are right-handed. All right, slide it back till it holds. Pull down with your thumb, releasing the slide. Place your finger on the trigger. Pull. You should hear the firing pin go forward. We got. Now it's done. So basically, we just went over the disassembly, assembly, and functions check of a semi-automatic handgun. The main important thing of this is actually the safety tips. Obviously, is going to be the main important part, because you definitely want to respect a weapon. This is a very dangerous tool. It is a tool, a very dangerous tool, but with respect, it's just as safe as anything else. Remember, when you assemble and disassemble, that you want to know how many parts came apart and how many went back together, and always do things in reverse order the way you took it out. Corrosion, wear, things like that you're looking for. But other than that, good maintenance and cleaning, knowing how to disassemble and assemble a semi-automatic handgun, they'll last you a lifetime. Thank you very much, class.